Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the Queers of Time podcast.
I'm Matt.
I'm James.
I'm Kenny.
And I'm Kat.
And this is a podcast to talk about all the gay stuff in the Wheel of Time.
Because we're gay and we like the Wheel of Time.
As always, a wonderful shout out to our patron saint of queerness. No, never mind, that's not right.
Feral Venerator of Sorain.
Feral Venerator of Soirain Lurks. I just call her lawyer mommy. But anyway, thank you, Lurks, for being... What?
No, it's just, I just got reminded that actually Lurks visited last week, so we got to watch the final episode of season 2 together. So that was cool. Anyway, you can go ahead.
Anyway, thank you for putting up with Camille. In person. Also, we've had a new patron. Thank you so much, Bethan Phillips. You're amazing. Thank you for giving us your money. Because podcasts are expensive, and also we are happy that you enjoy the content enough to spare your coins. That's all.
Toss a coin to your glee queers.
Mm-hmm.
Glee queers? No, that's not going to take off. Stop trying to make glee queers happen.
Nope.
Your glee days?
Anyways, is this a sex thing or a murder thing? Can it be both? Maybe it's the third option, a sapphic divorce thing. Is that too far? Look, don't send me hate mail. Don't blame the messenger for the message. Blame the Rafe for sustaining himself on sapphic tears and horny forsaken memes. Okay, it's not my fault. Anyway, today on the Queers of Time, we are talking about the totally normal, definitely not mind-breaking things that happen on episode 7, Daes Dae'Mar, or Game of Houses, the Game of Houses episode. Totally not any other sort of games. just the houses.
No other games involved here.
No games.
It's actually funny because I don't think Daes Dae'Mar is explained in the show at all.
No.
At all.
No. I think it was mentioned before this, but
Yeah.
aside from that, nope.
Nope. Okay, so what do we want to start with? Can we keep the Moraines one for the end?
Yes.
We have to keep it for the end. We have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where to start.
Can we start with the Aiel stuff?
Sure. I didn't really have much on
That's
them.
what I like. It's relatively short,
Yeah.
but
I thought the Aiel were weird.
I mean,
Yeah.
yes.
I was very confused as to what was happening, and it did have to be explained to me later by Avienda. And I was like, yep, that's Aiel culture.
Yep.
That's normal.
Yeah. I mean,
That's how you do things.
it's accurate. It's because it was weird, and we were like, what is going on? And Avienda is like, you mean you don't understand? How can you not understand?
You mean you don't get your friends to beat you up after you've made a mistake?
Made a small whoopsie, Oh, well.
I mean, yeah, someone died, but it was still a whoopsie.
It was still a whoopsie.
It was a whoopsie.
It wasn't an intentional thing,
It's like instead of dealing with feelings like guilt in a proper way,
Instead of talking,
instead of seeking therapy, we are going to seek a beating.
We're just going to beat the shit out of each other.
it went on for an uncomfortably long time.
It did.
I felt like it could have been reduced from 40 seconds to 15, and it still would have been just as impactful. But, I don't know.
Poor Perrin and Hopper are just standing there like, what the fuck is going on? What do we do with this?
Hopper is genuinely stressed.
Yes! Poor Hopper.
The poor puppy. Okay.
Hopper was clearly pro-feminism, and he did not feel that this was in line with beliefs that he was raised with.
Yeah.
But
I have some show-only friends, and they were like, why are those two redheaded ladies beating up on the other redheaded lady? And I was like, it's Giotto, do you not know the Aiel way? Are you...
Oh, okay, so you were Avienda.
You were, yes.
I was Avienda. No, I agree. It was a weird scene, and I feel like Avienda explained it well enough, but my friends were like live messaging me these things. So I was like, yeah, IEL culture is just a little weird.
It's just a little off.
It's just a little, it's just, you know.
A little violent.
It's not bad. It's just...
No.
Well, some of it's bad.
Well.
I mean, dealing with guilt by beating people seems a bit weird. There's more healthier way to deal with feeling of guilt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm just not a fan of IEL culture in general.
Yeah.
So it was just a little weird, but it's good that they're keeping it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're not betraying the source material.
Definitely not.
No, they are betraying it because otherwise they would be naking and spanking each other.
You're right.
That's true.
That's true. That's accurate.
It wasn't homoerotic enough.
No spankies.
But I will say, I didn't know where I was going to work this into the episode, but one thing I wanted to note is like the attention to detail and how they're like honoring the names of the characters, even the ones that aren't named at all. Like Joya is an Aes Sedai. She's never like, her name is never said in the book or in the show yet, but she's credited as Joya. And like Mulian, the Soldom trainer, is the Soldom trainer in the books, or one of the head Soldoms. And Seta is the Soldom that Nynaeve captured, and that's how she's credited, even though that's not, her name is not said in the show. It's just, it's nice.
Yeah. But I mean, the show doesn't care about the source material. They don't care about the books. They're not into that.
Talking about the attention to detail, like the Aiel and talk, like the maiden, how is it called? Maiden hand talk?
Maiden hand talk.
Yeah.
Hand talk?
Yeah.
It's, I mean, there's been some interview about that, and they really cared about consulting with deaf interpret, and I thought that was very well done. So
yeah, it's impressive. The language work. I mean, the work that they've done with the Old Tongue, with the hand talk, like it's obvious they've put a lot of time and research into this to make it as fantasy realistic as possible. And it's I appreciate it. It's good.
Right, like it's not its own language. It's a shorthand. It would be weird if it were ASL. So
yes,
I agree.
Yeah.
About the Aiel, one thing that I just remember that I found cute was Avienda asking about Perrin, whether he could lie with anyone else since he were married, and the Bane will be disappointed. Shad will not care.
Will not care. Yeah.
I love that so much.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That was a little bit.
It was it was a little bit like, hey, but I like that Bane is just a big old slut.
Yeah.
Like, these are my friends, slutty and lesbian.
Exactly. Perfect.
Yeah,
it was good. I don't think I have anything else on the IEL.
No,
not really.
No, not really.
I just had some weird image, like with some of the desert scene looked super bad on my TV. I didn't really understand why.
It's because they tried to do a day at night thing, or a night during the day thing.
Yeah, I think it was that, and really didn't work for me in the middle of the night.
Yeah, it was. It's very obvious what they're doing. Like, it felt very like low budget Star Wars.
Yeah, which is sad.
Yeah,
trying to think here.
I do appreciate that I think they've really captured what every other culture's reaction to the Aiel is, where like Avienda says something, it's like, haha, just kidding, and Perrin's like, ha 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 ha, okay. Like, like just not
we good.
Yeah. Has no idea how to take her, like how to interact with her. I feel like they captured that very well. I do appreciate that.
Yeah. If we're all done with the Aiels, I think we can move on to what's going on in Falme. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the dynamic between Elaine and Nynaeve.
Oh my god.
It was peak comedy.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. They've really nailed their dynamic. Like, it's, and obviously like combination between the writing choices and also Zoe Robbins and like they're just, I think they really get the characters and they get how the characters relate to each other too, with just like, Nynaeve, like the look that Nynaeve gives Elaine when Elaine tells her, we're doing things my way now. And like Nynaeve considers for a moment. She was like,
I'm gonna beat that girl.
I might have to take this bitch out.
Yeah, Nynaeve was very unsettled. But I think she was like, you know what? Okay. I guess we'll try it your way.
Yep.
I guess.
Yeah.
And when it fails,
yes.
It didn't.
It didn't. No.
But when it fails, I will beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, exactly.
That was her line of thinking.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And like, I do appreciate that Elaine's plan still generally ends up in the same place as Nynaeve's would, in that someone ends up bonked on the head.
Right.
Because like, let's be real, that's what Nynaeve would have done. It just would have been more direct. Elaine just took the scenic route to that, you know?
Yes.
There was a little bit more sneaky thing going on with Elaine's plan. Meanwhile, Nynaeve would just have went to the canal and beat people up and probably be captured in the process.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, Nynaeve would have figured out, like, hey, I should actually, you know, like, murder someone or capture someone. But it would be easier to murder them.
Murder's fine, too.
Yes. Murder means they can't come back later, so better.
Right. I did love the entire scene with Loyal. Like, Elaine gets more powerful whenever someone bows to her. I feel like...
Elaine Trakand. Get up! Don't encourage her!
Yes.
I don't know. I like how much Nynaeve and Elaine have, like, grown together. It's nice.
Yeah. I'm still laughing, singing about, like, Nynaeve cutting Loyal and saying, yeah, your name thinks in his hair. No, get up.
No, get up.
So disrespectful, but also not in a bad way.
No, I love that Loyal understands Nynaeve enough to realize, like, oh, okay, this is Nynaeve. Like, he's just happy to see her. He's happy to see her. That's it.
Yeah.
It's her way of saying she loves you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's her love language, you know?
That's why I relate to Nynaeve, because I'm like, yes, we know she's a bitch, but, like, her heart's in the right place.
Yeah, she has a lot of love, and it's, you know... and just, even the way that Elaine is dressed, she was, like, peak, like, 1950s, 60s Disney princess. Like, she was, like, that was very much her vibe.
A little dirty, but yes, like, still very... Yes.
I was waiting for the birds to come.
I did not notice anything.
You didn't notice?
No.
It was the way, I don't know what it was necessarily, but yes, it was very that.
Yeah. It was perfect. It's so good.
I did appreciate that after being concussed so many times, Elaine now gives concussion.
She's now the one that concusses. Love that for her.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do we want to go to Egwene?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Egwene is a good choice. Unfortunately. This was not her episode.
This was not her episode, but she only has 5 words in this episode, and she's still phenomenal in it.
Yeah.
She makes it count.
She does. I love the entire interaction because, like, Rena was like, yeah, did you feel it? We were so connected. It's awesome. We're so great. Yeah, I love you too. We're going to be best friends. And then Egwene chuckles, just lightly laughs. And Rena's like, yeah, what's up? I will kill you.
I will kill you.
Just to see Rena's face fall.
It was amazing.
I love the writing of this scene because, Rena is trying to clean Egwene. And what scene should that remind us? Egwene being cleaned by the White Cloak in season 1. I'm like, Rena, if you wanted to be friends with Egwene, that was the worst thing you could have done.
Yup.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah.
Stop trying to bathe Egwene. Like, can we just... I don't know what bath fetish there is here. If anybody should have been in a bath, it should have been Elaine, but...
Absolutely.
No, God, no.
Just saying.
Yeah, no, it was a fantastic scene, and I love the acting. I love how... Because, like, usually washing someone is seen as an act of service or servitude.
Like Jesus.
Like Jesus, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And I love how the show is using it to like upend that trope or that archetype and make it a trauma thing. And it's just like trying to bathe Elaine is like putting a cat in water. It's going to come out eventually. And when it does, its claws are going to be out.
Yep.
And you won't get scratched.
So good.
It's not going to be good for you.
Nope.
This will only end in tears.
Yep. I loved it.
But yeah, no, that I guess I realized that was 5 words that she had the entire thing.
Yeah. She was so powerful in the training scene.
She was so... I knew it was going to happen the second.
Oh, yeah.
The second I was like, oh, all of you bitches are falling down. All of you bitches. And I love that they heard it from the city, too.
Yeah.
Shout out to that kitten that got woken up by Egwene.
I know. That poor kitten.
Poor kid.
It's like, what the fuck is going on? I feel like Egwene was, like, maybe hoping that this would knock out some people. You know, like, just knock out some of them. Maybe concuss some people. Because the force of that wave or air or whatever it was, it's like they were scattered.
They were, yeah, it was like the other one like barely reached them. And then this one was like, it went a while.
Yep. Yep.
I did love Renna's pants though.
Listen, the Soldom outfits are really good. Like they look good.
Yeah.
For evil slavers, they sure do dress well.
They have the style.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else on fanmade? Like we can...
I mean, I wanted to say that like Moulaine does not approve of Renna allowing Egwene to keep her name. It was some, are you actually ready to be a Soldom and own people? Not with that attitude.
Exactly.
But yeah, I hate the Shanshan.
Yeah. The absolute worst.
Yeah.
Do we want to go to Barthanes?
Could go to Matt since he goes to Falm.
Oh yeah, I don't have anything on Matt, so I can be quiet.
You never have anything on Matt.
I know.
I wrote one thing on Matt in the spoiler part. Okay.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Très bien.
Right.
I liked the ayahuasca.
Yes, yeah.
That's all. It's just ayahuasca.
It's ayahuasca.
Wait, what?
Ayahuasca?
What's that?
It's no, it's.
I mean, it's relevant.
It's a psychedelic tea.
Yeah, it's a tea. Yeah.
It's basically what's going on here.
And it fucks you up.
It's a psychoactive brew used by indigenous and folk healers in the Amazon for spiritual ceremonies, divination, and healing of psychosomatic complaints.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's a common thing for white people to go to beaches and drink ayahuasca.
Yes. Yeah. Go on like retreats, like go on cool retreats and take some ayahuasca and, you know.
And then Karen comes back and she's like, I had the best experience. It was so spiritual. I went to Hawaii and...
It wouldn't be a Karen. It would be a Sophie or an Amanda.
Exactly.
Or a Tiffany.
Or a Tiffany.
Or a Bethany. Bethany, I feel like, would
Bethany
do that.
with an I.
Yes. Oh, my God. Oof, boy.
Bethany now says that she's a native Hawaiian because of something.
Does she say she's a native Hawaiian?
That's exactly what she says.
Hawaiian.
And you know what? She would say that. She absolutely would say that. Oh my God.
I love Bethany, the native Hawaiian. Hawaiian.
Let's get it right. It's Hawaiian.
Camilla's having a hard time. Camilla's like, this is not on topic, people.
Camille tried so hard to swerve us into the right direction, and still we're just like...
And the thing is that I'm also thinking about post-production, and I do not have the same cultural baggage that you all, so I'm going to be doing the post-production of that and being like, is it politically correct to say all of that or not?
I mean...
None of us are Hawaiian, so... We're allowed to make fun of Bethany, though, because we all know a Bethany.
Bethany deserves it.
But does Matt deserves it?
Does Matt deserve it? Yes.
Well, no.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about the character Matt.
Yes, Matt.
I wanted to say that Matt has absolutely no agency this season so far, and I find that hilarious. That boy gets kidnapped and gets stuck somewhere, and when he has the opportunity to decide where to go, he ends up just following him in, who's dragging him elsewhere, and now he gets just kidnapped and bumped somewhere else. And it
makes me happy, because you know what? This isn't really a spoiler, but in the books, he's the one not giving people agency. And that's one of the reasons I don't like him. So.
Yeah. I mean, anyway, I find it very interesting.
He's like, no, that's not it.
Yeah, whatever. I did enjoy his, is this a sex thing or a murder thing? Because either way, I'd prefer you skip the talking.
I love that so much.
And then Ishmael's reaction to that was perfect. Because, like, he kind of was like, I don't have time for either of those things, but I appreciate you bringing it up. I appreciate the ask.
I appreciate the thought. Like, I know that Matt's being, like, he's being his cheeky self and he's being sarcastic, but, like, the feral gay in me is wondering if, like, is this hinting that Matt is, like, was he being serious about the sex thing? Like, would he have been like...
Oh, I think this is Matt being a little bit bi. I
think so.
Okay. I'm glad it's not just me. I would like them to continue that thread in the show, honestly.
I wouldn't be surprised if, like, later on, like, actually confirmed that he's bi or pan or whatever.
We need a queer Taverin.
I mean, we just need him taking, like, a dick.
I thought you were going to say taking a load, but dick, that works too.
I mean, I want to see a scene of him, like, crawling out of bed with a man and a woman. That's all I want.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you hear the sloshing noise of the dick coming out of his ass as he gets up.
No, I can do with that.
Why?
No. I'm fine with him leaving a bed. I don't need the dick noise with it.
You're fine with him leaving a bed. You don't need the dick noise with it. Okay, got it.
Title of the episode.
Jot that down.
Dick noise.
I don't need the dick noise with it.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Yep.
But I mean, Matt feels a bit bi, but there's so many characters in this show that give me like a. Are you a bit? I'm sensing a little bit of gay here. Like,
yeah.
I mean, Ishmael definitely like that man feels
fruity,
so gay, so fruity. He's very campy. I love him. He's like his whole thing about he's a philosopher, and because he's a philosopher, he joined the dark. It just makes me laugh so much. And I love that the show just dived into it.
Mm-hmm. He is every nihilistic professor that you ever had. Like, it's like that ever existed in college/university. Like, he is, it's perfect. It's perfect. I love it so much.
And it just, I don't know, why does every of his interaction feel so homoerotic? I think I pretty much asked that in another episode, but like that one still was there. Still, let's cuddle with Matt after his psychedelic experience.
I mean, yeah.
Let's hold Matt in my lap and stroke his hair.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah.
She gets hornier with every episode.
The more depressed that someone is, the more that Ishmael is like, oh my god.
It's a kink for him.
I desire this person carnally.
To continue the Matt talk, the nightmares, like the visions and the nightmares he had, like just the trauma, and people have complained about him not having enough to do this season, which, first of all, let Matt and Rafe cook. Second of all, like, emotional turmoil is still something. Like, I feel like a lot in fantasy, especially, a lot of people, unless a character is like blowing shit up or getting god tier powers, they're not doing anything. But like Matt in this episode, to me, I don't know, I can see where they're coming from, but he's Taverin, and I think that this episode really showed that, and it showed, like, I mean, we don't know what all the symbolism in the dreams are. I mean, we know what some of it is, spoiler section, and I'll talk about that more in the spoiler because I'm excited about a certain thing. But yeah, just Matt in general. And they also remind me of Matt last season and make me think that the dagger could come back in a significant way later on in the season and in the series, because we had Dagger Matt. But like, I view the dagger and Matt's inner struggles with it last season and his struggle to find out who he really is and like what importance he has to be like really nice thematically. And like, I'm sure some people could just write off the dagger and his visions as like, ooh, darkness, woo woo. But like thematically, it's a lot more deep than that. It's about like universal themes of temptation. So like, I don't know, people writing off the themes around Matt just, I don't know. I think that Rafe is doing something really special with this character that I like much more than the books. So
I think like Matt is like a one in like a handful of characters that I think are cooking this season. Where like you kind of mentioned that, like I think Nynaeve is another one who's like there's a lot of emotional things that are brewing sort of under the surface that won't become relevant until season 3. Which makes it makes sense that they're doing it this way, and I kind of like it because there are a few characters that don't really get going until a little bit later on, and I think this is a good way of sort of showing the path to that without just like not showing them at all, you know, like where like you just cut kind of from this, like they were this and then now they're that. And like Matt, it's I like what they're doing with him because that's, you know, what they're kind of setting up now, I think is going to become important later to his characterization.
Oh, it definitely is.
I mean, my only comment about the tea scene was that it was creepy and I loved it. I like the creepiness of it.
Yeah.
And also, who believed Ishamael after that? I don't know. There's some people after watching this episode that were like, oh, Matt is gonna be bad. Yeah, like, are you gonna start believing Ishamael, the father of lies?
The father of lies? I know, every time, like, Ishamael says something and people freak out, I'm just like, guys, come on. It's he calls himself the father of lies several times. Like,
yeah, they're not very bright. People are just a little dumb. I'm trying. This is me being nice.
I know. And you're not wrong. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Not wrong. So, can we move to Barthanes?
Yeah.
Barthanes. I loved it. I was so happy with it. I was not ready for Leandrin to show up. I knew from the preview Leandrin showed up in that house. I didn't know what she was doing there. And we finally got an answer about who was a dark friend because we knew something was going on there.
Right.
In the books, this isn't spoilers, in the books, Barthanes is a dark friend. Anver is not. But we were all heavily wondering who was going to be a dark friend or both. But I love how it worked out. And I love Leandrin's performance, like Kate Fleetwood's performance, because she was so conflicted about it, but she's not going to question her orders that she just got from Lanfear, who clearly wants Moraine done.
Yep.
And then Anver, like, eavesdropping and turning in her son, and that quote about how Moraine knows 2 things. My sister knows 2 things.
But there are 2 things my sister understands better than anyone. The difference between right and wrong and how much harder it is sometimes to do what is right.
Yeah. It's so good because, like, oh my God. I hope that we get more of them together because their dynamic is fascinating and so compelling, and like it's obvious that Anver, at least I think so, that she loves her sister very much.
Yeah.
Or at least like she loves,
admires.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to, like, yes, there's love in there as well, obviously, but I think
she idolizes Moraine, I think. Like she like, or at least the Moraine that she knew. Like maybe not this version of Moraine, but the Moraine that she knew.
Yeah.
I think I
can see that.
Yeah, like, because she admits that when Barthanes is like, she doesn't, like, Moraine doesn't care about you. She's not going to do fuck all for you.
Yeah, no shit.
And she's like, yeah, I know, but still.
But she's family, and I get that you're also family, but you're literally a dark friend, and my sister isn't, so I fucked up. I clearly am the one that fucked up here somehow, and I need to deal with that, but you're going to jail.
Yeah.
Bye.
And like, imagine like Anver believing up until this point that she was the one that pulled her family up in their rising after the clusterfuck of before, only to find out that the reason that they are where they are is because her son turned to the dark. It's devastating. Like, I mean, she's losing all around here. It's just, I feel so bad for her.
She said, fuck that twink.
I mean, basically.
She said, fuck this twink of a kid I have.
Fuck this twink.
Fuck this twink. Obliterate this twink.
Obliterate this twink.
This is why you don't trust twinks.
She said to the guards and the queen, obliterate this twink.
Perfect. Yep. Oh my God. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Sorry, randomly, I'm shopping for bed sheets, and I just found one that said it was skin friendly.
What does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? Skin friendly?
It just says skin friendly.
As opposed to what?
Do the sheets caress you back? What does that mean?
I don't know. It's just here. I shared the promo image in Discord. I was just casually shopping for sheets while we were talking about Matt, and then I was still doing it. And skin friendly, love it.
I guess it means hypoallergenic.
But
maybe for sensitive skin or something
maybe.
like that.
There are so many other ways you could say that, though. Like,
Anyway, let's go back to
We
the
can't.
episode. We are already more than half an hour in, okay?
okay.
Do we have anything else on Barsoness?
no, he's a little twink bitch, and we hate him.
Yeah. Once again, obliterate the twink.
Gosh, but it hurt. Like, honestly, I was so sad to find out about, like, him being a dark friend, because I was almost starting to, like, believe that maybe he would not be.
Yeah. He seemed so nice. He seemed so
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
And he did it.
But-
That's the thing that kills me, is that he didn't did it for power, like his own personal power or this kind of thing. He did it because he knew that, like, how important the Dae'Mar house is important for his mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did it for I'm not saying a good reason, I'm saying a decent reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I don't think this invalidate, because you could see, like, when he gets the order from Leandrin, he's devastated. He's like because I think the love for Moraine, for his aunt,
Real.
was genuine. It was real. Like, he was genuinely happy to have her back in the house, and like, it's obvious he cares about her a lot. And just to get that, just like, well, fuck, like, you know.
He's definitely one of those dark friends that never expected to have something to do after becoming a dark friend.
Yeah.
And no, it's like, hey, you have to kill your aunt that you actually like. And if your mother starts saying anything, you have to kill your mother too.
Murder her too.
Right?
Bye.
Like, shit.
Like, it's bad. Shit's bad, yo.
Shit's bad, yo.
Should we move on to the big sapphic?
I have two small. Well, is Rand included in Moraine and Swan?
So for me, I put like Moraine and Swan. I put a part with just Lan, Alana, Verin, because they have something together.
Yeah.
And I put a part about Rand himself, and also a tiny part about Lanfear.
Okay.
I also had a small bit about Rand, and then a miscellaneous bit about Alana, and a miscellaneous bit about Lanfear.
Okay.
So
I mean, they're all kind of connected. I think if we like,
let's just save the specific Moraine and Swan for the end. So Alana, Varen, Lan.
Yeah. Let's start with that.
I just love that Alana gives her warders equal votes when they're deciding things. That was really special to me.
Yeah, that was cute.
Yeah.
My general thought about Lana Verin is that there's obviously a plan between the three of them. I don't think we have the full extent of that plan with that episode. I don't think we know it, at least. There's some clear indication Verin need a no-gear map even before Rand gets captured. Alana mentions Verin Sedai and saying, I don't trust Verin Sedai even if Lan does. No, that's Maxim who said that. And Alana replying, no, we have our task, when he's suggested to follow Thomas.
Yep.
Wait, was that Maxim or Yvonne that said that? I don't remember. One of the water.
I think it was Yvonne.
Yeah. And I do think that there's some information that either Moraine or Swan are not aware of, because Moraine was surprised by Verin's arrival and thought the Waygate was a myth. She's also saying Swan is not telling her everything. Swan directly finds the Waygate. Yeah, so there's a lot of things we don't know.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that whatever plan they were putting into place throughout this episode, I think it kind of started between when Lan and Alana and the warders have that interaction where they're trying to figure out if Lan is a dark friend, and then Lan catching up to Swan's coach, and whatever conversation happens after that, because all we really see is that him saying Moraine needs you. We don't see what happens after that. And so it seems it's obvious, and especially with the title of the episode, it's obvious there is some other things are at play here. But I think somewhere along the way, things break apart because, once again, true to Wheel of Time, communication. It's the problem.
Why?
What's communication?
Once again,
In this economy?
they looked at communication and said, we don't know her. Sorry, we don't.
She doesn't even go here.
No, she doesn't go here. We don't vibe with her. No, not at all. And so it's obvious because as soon as they get there, they're like, Varen is moving and Alana is like things are happening. And it's gonna be revealed, I'm assuming, in season 3 at some point.
I hope.
What exactly it is that they were up to. But yeah.
I did. So Leon, sorry. When Varen comes in and distracts Liane or tells her, I love the language that she used. I like to think that Varen told herself to watch Rand. Like, she looked in the mirror and she said, Varen, you need to watch the boy. Okay, Varen, I will. Thank you, Varen.
She can even have Thomas tell her,
Yeah.
go watch the boy.
Yeah, I just like to
The
think,
possibilities are endless.
and they're all funny to me.
They're all great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thomas, tell me to watch the boy. Watch the boy.
Watch the boy.
Thank you.
I've been commanded to watch the boy.
I really like that Moraine commented on that, like saying you are very clever with your words, sister. Especially because I feel like this is a reminder that the fandom needs to keep having one, like, over and over again, because we've been told multiple times that Daes Dae'Mar always tells the truth, but it may not be the truth we think we hear. And over again, people are like, she said that. No, she did not say that. She said something that you think say that.
Exactly. And even Swan, like the way that what Swan says in this episode is very specific in general. Like, she's another example of an Aes Sedai who is very careful with what she says. And
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly. She does it very well.
very well. Yeah.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about Rand?
Yeah.
Poor Rand.
So
My little trauma baby.
Rand was a little pathetic in this episode.
Yeah.
I didn't care for how they portrayed. Actually, no. I didn't care for Yosha's performance of being shielded. It felt a little like it just wasn't giving.
It just wasn't giving. Okay.
I mean, especially after seeing Moraine, who we know she's been shielding for a long time, and she still stands up. She still gives everything. It feels like Rand is easy to give up right now.
Yeah, it either felt like Rand was too shocked completely, but he shouldn't be, given how much that he's been getting into, like, whatever headspace he's been getting into for the past 7 months. Like, and the dealing with Lanfear. Like, he can deal with Lanfear, but he can't deal with being cut off from the One Power for a second.
Yeah.
And it just felt very weak.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was a Yosha thing, or if that was a writing thing, or if it was just, like, how they chose to portray it. Whatever it was, it felt a little... It just wasn't giving.
Yeah.
So to me, right now, Rand feels like someone that is easily manipulated, because you say he can deal with Lanfear. In my opinion, cannot at all. He is easily manipulating by Moraine, by Lanfear, by Swan, because like, I do think she completely manipulated him into channeling.
Oh yeah.
So she could test out his power. Into asking Lanfear for help, like Lanfear knew what's going on and know he's gonna ask for help and this kind of thing. And it feels like, so when I think about the 5 people from the Two Rivers, they all have kind of something that defines them. Like Perrin has his rage, Egwene is ambitious and defiant. Matt is ashamed of himself. Nynaeve is afraid of being powerless and of her own power. And Rand, meanwhile, is still as his hurt, a sheep herder that wants a simple life. And while he kind of has started to accept that he has some magical power, he's not accepted, like he's not in the role yet of the Dragon Reborn. Which makes sense, we're only in season 2. So it feels like it's just basically following whatever people are telling him. It's the sheep basically doing what the dog is guiding him.
He is still unbelievably naive, I think. Like, he is still it's both surprising and not, because, like, I mean, yes, he's been kind of separated on his own for the past, like, 6 or 7 months, but he's been with Lanfear for that, or as he knew her, with Celine for that amount of time, who, as we know, is incredibly manipulative. And I think she has had, I know, it's surprising, I know, but she has had a profound impact on who he is at this moment in his journey, I think more than he realizes. And he's very malleable still right now. Because you're right, like, Swan was able to goad him basically into channeling, and then when he did it, she was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? This is it? This is all you got? Like, you've had 6 months. What are you doing?" Like, I
will say, I didn't understand where Swan was coming from there, but I also don't know what she was expecting, so.
I think this might be getting into Swan and Moraine territory, but, like, I think she was under a different impression of what was happening in the 6 months than what we know to be true.
Yeah.
Fair.
That was the impression I got. Yeah.
We can kind of start digging into Moraine and Swan and then move back to other things. We have others that remains. But to me, Moraine failed to communicate with Swan for the past 6 months. She hasn't told her about not being able to access the power anymore. I'm not sure this is the only one she did not tell her, because I don't think Swan would have been okay with Ren being alone, wandering alone in the world, in the wild, without Moraine. So I'm pretty sure she doesn't know. Does she even know about the Forsaken being out there? Who knows? Like, she makes a direct comment about
one of the
what would happen if one of the Forsaken got their hands on Ren. And so
the audience is like, yeah, what if?
Yeah. That would be horrible, wouldn't it?
She got her pussy on the Rand, so...
At least she doesn't know it was fucking Lanfear.
Yeah.
Literally the worst. Literally the worst Forsaken there is. Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, I absolutely understood Swan's frustration in this episode because, like, she was under a completely different impression than what the actual reality is. And Moraine, I think, has been leaving out a lot of what's been going on the past 6 months. It seemed like Swan was under the impression that Moraine and Rand were together, and that Moraine was that Moraine was doing something to help Rand.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, like that, especially Moraine, knowing where she comes from. If she had been with Rand, she may not have been able to train him with the power, but at least like politically about becoming a leader.
Right.
That's the kind of skill that brands definitely do not have right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Moraine Moraine this season was not my favorite version of Moraine.
I don't think Moraine this season is not the favorite version of Moraine this season is also not a favorite version of Moraine either.
Yeah, Moraine doesn't like herself this season.
Oh, very much not. Like,
that's okay. She's not alone.
Yeah.
I will say, I think, like, the entire opening, I mean, not the opening, but when Moraine was brought before Swan, like, I can't imagine all of the feelings that Moraine was experiencing. Like, she obviously didn't want to tell Swan, not just because it hurt so much, but because she knew that this is what would happen. Swan essentially, like, knows that Moraine cannot do her job now. And so she has to take over.
Yeah.
And Moraine doesn't think that's the right idea, and I don't think they've ever disagreed on something this fundamental before.
Exactly.
But it also wasn't easy for Swan to do that. Like, there was no easy decision made by either part. Right. It wasn't just like, oh, okay, I'll take over.
No.
It's not this person is right, this person is wrong. Like, both of them are wrong, both of them are right.
Yes.
Two things are true. Two things can be true.
Two things are true. Two things can be true. And they're both in kind of an impossible position with, like, very few options. Like, I think, especially for Swan. Not as much for Moraine, because Moraine is separated, like, she's been banished from the tower, and so she's not bound by things there. Swan is extremely bound by everything that has to do with the tower. So she's trying to balance that and also balance the quest, and how do those things are now conflicting, and how, and also like balance her relationship with Moraine on a personal level. And so how does she do that? Something's got to give at some point.
And it has to be, unfortunately, her relationship with Moraine.
And it has to be that, yeah.
Because literally it can't be being the Amerlin.
Nope.
It can't be the Dragon Reborn.
Yep.
And when you look at the fact, which is the lack of communication for the past 6 months, no matter how much Swan loves Moraine, Moraine has become unreliable.
Yeah. And she's like, I mean, can she even trust Moraine the same way as before now? Because like Moraine, and I know that like the look on Moraine's face when she's standing there in front of Swan, it's that feeling, like that feeling of when everything is going to catch up with you. Like where like you've been, you know what I mean? Like not necessarily like outright.
You're fucked up and you're about to find out.
Yes, exactly.
That's the thing. You've done your fucking around. Now you're in the find out portion.
And this is the finding out. Yes. And it sucks where you see it coming and there's literally nothing you can do to get out from in front of it. And just like
Yeah, the second Lan was like, by the way, she's like, what did you fucking do, you motherfucking dumb motherfucking. Yeah.
But she knew, like, I mean, she had to know that this was the only logical conclusion to this, because how else?
Well, she hoped. She lied to herself.
Yeah. Yeah. Very much. Yeah.
She's like, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, this will be fine. What could possibly go wrong?
Like she's been saying for 6 months, it's fine. The dragon is away. There's 2 Forsaken Arts. It's fine.
It's fine. This is fine.
It'll work out. It's okay.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is that I feel like Moraine is also in a stage where like she knows she has messed up a lot at the other world, and it's not entirely her fault because Swan didn't send her there, but she messed up, and I feel like the fact she's not saying anything was also a way for her to, you know, when you messed up at work and you're like, I'm not gonna tell anyone until I fix my hair so nobody does that, which is a very bad thing to do at work. If you have a good, like,
the worst.
if you have a good company, you should be able to admit when you failed something so that the failure doesn't stay unseen for too long, without fear of repercussion. Anyway, and yeah, it's like, oh no, I messed up. I need to fix that before anyone find it out, and no, doesn't work out.
I think she was hoping that she'd be able to fix it. Like she was genuinely hoping, like, okay, I'm gonna fix it. And to her credit, she came kind of close, and then things fell apart again. It's just like,
did she? So
I mean, I think when she caught up with Rand again,
she found Rand, and then she found Rand, and then she immediately lost him again.
Right.
That's the thing. Like I think she had a glimmer of hope, and then was like, well, fuck, I lost him again, and yeah.
And Swan arrived in Cairn right when Rand was about to run away. Like, that's not a good look.
Yep.
I will say, one thing I did enjoy in this episode was Lan. We can kind of see what Lan's been doing in the background for a while. I was a little confused about how he knows so much about how the One Power works, but I guess in the 7 months that like they've been unbonded, he was also in Varen's place and had access to all of those books, so he probably learned something about how the One Power works.
I think so.
I'm just curious as to how he's the, solver of this. It doesn't seem in character for me, but I don't care.
I mean, I don't particularly mind, mostly because I feel like this is something Moraine could have solved if she had not put some blinds on from the start and say, oh no, I've been stealed and that's it.
You're right.
Yeah.
And yeah, like what Lan does, asking Logain what he sees with Moraine, is something that, makes sense. She has affronted a male Forsaken. Nobody deals with male channelers. Well, nobody except the Red Aja deals with male channelers these days.
Yeah.
There are indeed weaves that were lost since the breaking. Moraine immediately assumes that was about stealing, but not it's a I think it kind of makes sense for me for Lan to question that, especially since is not depressive. Moraine doesn't seem like Moraine is still alive after 6 months, which seems to surprise pretty much everyone. Alana is definitely surprised that Lan doesn't want to kill himself. So, I mean, at some point you have to connect the dots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone has to.
Yeah. Someone has to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to Moraine and Swan. Did we talk about the breakup yet?
No, we haven't gotten there yet.
No, we haven't got there yet.
Not quite.
I was going to talk about the cold open, which filled me with so much hope.
Yeah.
It's just...
No.
It was us seeing them as their true selves, I think.
Yeah.
If all of this wasn't a thing. It's just, they were so happy and so full of hope and adventure and yeah.
I was happy for them.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. I was so happy seeing that. And I was like, oh, yeah, they're going to meet again this episode. That's going to be so great. Oh, it's going to end up so, like, probably not, like, great, but they're going to meet. And yeah. I just wasn't expecting, like, what happened, obviously.
Yeah.
It's funny because when the trailer came out and we had that Moraine and Swan kiss, I was like, it's not going to be their only kiss of the season. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been in the trailer, right? Right? And instead of other kisses, I got a divorce.
A divorce! We're children of divorce now. Look at this.
Oh, the queers of time are divorced babies.
We're divorced babies. Oh my God.
I've been a divorced baby since 8 years old.
Lordy. Oh boy. Well, now doubly so.
I did find it interesting about the cold open that, like, despite being a similar scenes that we have in New Springs, it did has very different feelings because it's we already know that Rand is born, we already know what the Dragon Reborn means, and it's like supposed to kind of doom the world, so it wasn't really framed about that. It was mostly framed about all of the plans Moraine and Swan had and how that viewing just ruined everything. And
I will say I felt like the actual foretelling was really lackluster. Like, I don't know, there was something about it that just didn't feel like dramatic enough for me. I don't know.
It did not at all.
So I'm going to steal Gus's insight from Allie Gus. Because I talked with them about it, and it made me like the foretelling, because the thing in the books is it was this big dramatic event for Katara. However, in the show, it wasn't about Katara at all.
Right.
It was about Moraine and Siwan and how much their life changed.
Okay.
And that, it had nothing to do with the foretelling itself. It had to do with the fact that, like, Moraine and Siwan are now fucked.
Okay.
And if it accomplished that.
I get that.
Okay.
It did accomplish that.
Yeah.
I still think it was the weakest delivery of a scene. Not Rosamund Pike and Sophia.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Yeah.
Like, the delivering of the prophecy itself, I think, was probably the weakest acting. In my opinion, it was, like, the weakest scene acting-wise. And it didn't necessarily convey to me the, they're fucked thing, because, and this is probably, like, my book lens, but, like, I was like, wow, that was really sort of a lackluster prophecy. But even with the... I appreciate where Allie Gus are coming from. I'm not sure if I agree that the end result was delivered that.
Right. It didn't feel like they were talking about the end of the world. It seemed like they were talking about a bad month.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, I can see where Allie and Gus, where they're coming from, because if your focus is on, like, my focus was on Katara in that scene, because it's the foretelling and all of that. But if your focus is purely on Swan and Moraine, I think it's better. Like,
right.
it plays better. And so I get what they're saying from that, because, like, that final look that Swan and Moraine share after, they're just like, well, fuck. Like, there goes, we were literally just planning our lives together, and now that's not happening.
I do agree that it was a very weak performance, matched only by Yosha's being shielded. But it does feel like they were like, here's the script, here's the lines, and then they did one take, and they were like, yeah, that's good.
We got it. We got it in one.
It felt like Lan's introduction to Moraine in season 1, like, I'm Lam Al Mandragor, and this is Moraine Sedai, and surprise, here they are. That was
good.
I hated that. I hated it.
I loved it though.
Okay.
It was so dramatic that like it worked for me.
Camp.
It was that's exactly it. It was camp and it worked.
Can I confess something?
Uh-huh.
The World Could Open didn't do it for me. So...
You didn't like the cold open?
Really?
Not particularly. I think so. First thing first, it's the only episode. Like it's the first episode that I watched at like 1 a.m. And I think next year I'm not gonna do that anymore. I hate that. It's especially like I left the episode and immediately I was on Twitter and Discord and people were complaining and I was like, fuck them all. At least when I watch it in the morning, like I have to go to work after that. I don't have the time, and people have cooled down in the few hours after the episode. So yeah, I was a bit tired, and also it's like I'm struggling a little bit to grasp the timeline of Moraine and Swan, and it's like they're acting young but don't partially seem young. It's I don't know. It gave me a weird feeling. I think I'm just struggling in general with flashback because it's kind of like in the books when you have 25 years old character acting like 16. It make me feel like that.
Oh, okay. They were acting a little younger than they were. It was very puppy love when they were Aes Sedai. So they've been together for like, if assuming they met as novices, then they have been together at least like a decade.
Yes.
So, and that's not how someone in a relationship for a decade acts. But I think they were maybe elated because the war's over. Yeah. So there was a little bit of that, but I kind of see what you're saying. I think it was just to like make the finale even worse. Yeah. Or not the finale, the end. Yeah.
And I think there may be also that for me because it's like we saw them being happy, but I already know what's coming for them. So it's like I can't really feel the happiness or something like that. So yeah.
No, that's fair. Like it's I think it was to contrast the blow that they get a few minutes later, where like, you know, it's because I mean in New Spring they're very carefree up until that point. Like comparatively, they're pretty carefree. They don't have a whole lot that they're bound by. And there's a world of possibilities for them. And then there's very suddenly not.
Yeah, and then they become Aes Sedai and they're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
No. Jumping back to the present, I do think like Suan on that wall in the fur coat looked like a 40s mob boss. And it felt like an interesting costuming choice.
Yeah.
But it was good.
I kind of liked it. I liked her in her furs. Like
it was her in a fur coat looking above a city on fire. It was very like Al Capone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she solved the fire.
She did solve the fire.
She made it rain.
And then going to the end of the episode, I really loved seeing Moraine channel again and the trust that she placed in Rand. And the fact that she let Lan solve something, like, it just kind of makes my heart very, very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lan saying, I'm sorry it took so long for me to do my duty. Oh.
Yeah, that was good.
God. Yeah.
I did want to talk a little bit about Swan meeting Rand.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yes.
We would have been so much better off if you were a girl.
Brutal. Like, I mean... She delivered several blows against Rand in like a 2-minute period.
Psychic damage.
Like, my God.
Especially if that was Egwene who is always wanting to learn and this kind of thing. I mean, she has a character, that's for sure. But
oh my God, that would have been an amazing line. It would have been better if it were the Egwene girl.
Especially after Egwene getting so much in her face with Nynaeve being the stronger channeler in 3,000 years.
It would have been so much better if you were that like brown-nosing Egwene girl.
A lot of people got very angry about what Swan was saying to Rand. I think it's just people forgetting that Aes Sedai gonna be Aes Sedai. because I don't think it's partially clear what Swan intends to do with Rand. Like, she's very careful with her words. And like part of it was definitely to trigger Rand, like what she's saying about what the Tower Law says the Amerlin must do. She's not saying what she has to do. What we are meant to cage you. When she's talking about revealing the dragon to the rest of the world to show he is under our control, at no point it's like we are controlling him or I will cage you or this kind of thing. It's really, there's always that little word that's like what we are supposed to do.
Right.
And
she's never used, I don't think she ever uses I statements. Like, she doesn't say, I am going to do this, or I am going to do, like it's always very carefully framed around, this is what we must do. This is what we are meant to do. Like, it's always sort of framed that way, which is very clever because it removes it, like,
it circumvents the 3 oaths. It's smart.
Exactly.
It's smart, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think she's quite decided what to do with this situation, at least that we can see.
Yeah, and I think that's what kind of annoyed me with the fandom, because like everyone jumped to conclusion, and I think Rand also jumped to conclusion, and it's not because she's currently shielding him that she means to shield him all the time. Especially like there's a few things that makes me think that she was aware of part of Lan's plan, like for example just the fact she knows where to find them. That was a bit interesting. I do think not everything was a plan, because I think something went wrong.
Yes.
And I do think she was disappointed by finding out that no, that boy was not trained at all, and she thought he had spent the last 6 months with Moraine. So that may have like changed how she was seeing the situation and how she was thinking about what to do with him. But that doesn't mean like she was going to put him in a box for like months and years until the last battle. And yeah, it's like people jumped on something, and I don't even think even Swan knew what she was going to do.
No, Swan did not know what she was going to do at all.
No.
I think Swan did make the decision when she realized that Rand had no training, and that Moraine could not do anything about it. Like, she was like, okay, cool. Well, this is what I have to do. Like,
then that means they have to train him. Like, if Moraine cannot train him, someone has to train him.
Someone has to. Like, they have very limited options here. Like, they only really have one viable option, is find someone to train Rand and also make sure that he doesn't go insane before that happens.
Yeah, no, I think it was, she did what she had to do.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Yeah.
She's the Amerlin seat.
Exactly. She doesn't have any, like, all of her choices are difficult. And like, I think coming back, like when she gets to the Waygate and then seeing a Forsaken show up and seeing that Moraine is not surprised by said Forsaken showing up, it, like, I mean, yet one more thing that Moraine, like, that is not.
Before that, though, she does like the ultimate Amerlin thing and divorces her wife.
Oof. Yes.
When she is literally like, I don't want to force you. I gasped and I had to pause because I was like, there is no fucking way. But then, you know what?
But she's the Amerlin.
She's the Amerlin seat. Look.
That boy had to stay.
Yeah. I would stab my wife in the face if it meant I had to save the world. Like, it'd suck.
I mean, yeah. Because this is what, like.
But also,
what else is she going to do? What other choices did she have?
She didn't have any other choices, but it was still like an incredible violation.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Of course. But at the same time, it's why you usually don't say oath to your boss.
Well, yeah. That's why workplace relationships are a bad idea.
Are discouraged.
Yeah.
They are strongly discouraged.
I do love that Suan got all of her daggers up, and it was like a regal display. And Lanfear was not pressed. Lanfear said, okay, cool. You do you, boo.
That looks cute.
That's cute.
She did exactly the same mistakes that Moraine did against Ishamael, is that she threatened instead of acting directly.
Yes.
Like, you need to go all out.
Yeah.
Also, I love how Lanfear opens the Waygate, because she does it, she's just, It's a huge production for these Aes Sedai.
I know.
It is a full theater production.
Yeah.
And Lanfear's just like,
yeah.
Whoop.
Yeah. Just a little finger flicking.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah.
She knows how to pleasure a waygate to make it open.
I was about to say something about flicking, but yeah. Lanfear was badass in this episode. Like the whole thing.
She was great.
3,000 years pass and I'm back to this.
She was having the time of her life. Walking through that city and
she was so bored.
She was so bored. She was like, I'm better than this. This is intern work. Like,
it's beneath her.
That's beneath her.
It truly is, though. She is a badass scientist lady. And she's like, oh, okay, I guess I'm just going to be like, a Molotov cocktail today.
Oh my god, she looked great though.
It's like learning chemistry just to be able to make drugs.
Yes, 100%.
I am sorry. I think Lanfear's silver look was amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it had nothing on Lyanna's looks this season.
Oh, Lyanna's looks have been just
like,
my god.
Don't get me wrong.
Whew.
Lanfear's like Dream World and the silver look, both great.
Mm-hmm.
Lyanna's thing from episode 4, like the brocaded thing.
Yeah.
That's the best bit of costuming this season.
Yeah.
It's very good.
I will not hear any questions. Do we have anything else before spoilers?
I have a few small things.
Yeah, okay.
Just general comment about Moiraine and Swan. I love the sapphic drama. I love the angst. There's a reason why comfort angst is my favorite tag on AO3. I'm there for it, but it better end well for both of them by the end of the show because I need a good payoff. It's like I like the comfort angst. So after the angst, I need the comfort.
Yes.
So yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
I did have some question regarding how Swan acted at the end because she did attack Lan.
I also had a couple of questions about that because I was like, how did you, do you think your life is in danger right now?
But the thing is that there's the part. So my whole thing is that Moiraine kind of literally agreed to use Lanfear to free Rand.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's an option that Rand directly tell to Moiraine, and she's like, yeah, go ahead, do that. So she really would do anything for the Dragon Reborn, even burning Karine. We know who is burning. Like Swan knows that it's probably a Forsaken that is burning Karine, and at the same time, Moiraine managed to make Rand escape, and then suddenly she said she could not channel, and she's shining to open a waygate. Like, I'm genuinely curious whether Swan is thinking that, like, I don't think on the long term she will think that Moiraine is a dark friend, but maybe she had a genuine dude enough to channel and, like, throw Lan against a wall.
Yeah.
Which is a big deal. And I'm also curious whether, her using the oaths is what made her realize that at least not all of the oaths were broken. Because, like, I don't think she's thinking that Moiraine must have been a dark friend for a long time. If Moiraine is a dark friend, that would be a consequences of the Eye of the World.
Right.
Which, if she had, like, I don't know, sword to the dark after that.
It would have been interesting. I am curious as to what the hell Siuan was thinking.
Yeah.
Like, what mental gymnastics she had to go through to attack Lan. I understand her using the oath, but the implications for what it means about Moiraine are very startling.
Yeah. And she literally just saw Moiraine following Lan after her waygate. So I can't wait to see Swan next season and find out about it, because I think we only know half of what was going on here.
I was just gonna say exactly that. Like, I feel like there's still things, there are missing scenes that we are not privy to yet and won't become relevant until next season. It feels like there were things that were agreed upon or discussed prior to all of this, and then something, like multiple things happened and changed and forced people to make decisions that they weren't meaning to. Like, that was not what the plan was. It seems like there was a lot. It felt like Swan was playing catch up in like a very short amount of time, and had to make all of these decisions back to back to back with like all of this new information that was just kind of coming at her from like, I think there's more that was happening than we saw, it seemed like.
Yeah. And my last few minor thing, so I did mention that Lan figuring out the knot, I didn't mind that. I did think that the knot resolution was a bit anticlimactic, but I mean, I don't particularly care.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about the Lan Rand scene with the cat crosses the courtyard.
Oh yeah.
Which was a nice scene. I laughed a little bit with about Lan like basically asking Rand to tuck in his shirt. I was like, okay, Dad. And also like the don't be so selfish, you are born to protect this world, every person in it, not just the ones you love. I enjoyed that we got to see that from the king of a dead kingdom to the dead to the dragon reborn.
Yeah.
I think it was a nice touch.
It was nice. That scene doesn't mean as much to me as it does to a lot of people. And it didn't involve Moraine or Suwon, so
that's fair.
Yeah.
It was good though. It was nice.
Yeah. It was nice. It was nice for book fans.
Yeah, it was. Everyone was so excited for Cat Crosses the Courtyard, and I'm just like, yeah.
That's fair.
Those are words.
So are we all good to move to full book spoilers?
Sure.
I think so.
So for people listening to us, if you have only watched the show and have not read the books, you should probably leave. Unless you're a crazy person who likes spoiler. I know a few like that, and I don't understand, but you do you.
You do you, boo.
You do you, boo.
I think something we all mentioned probably was Matt's vision. Do you want to start with that?
Yeah.
This is my only Matt note. I wasn't expecting that much foreshadowing from Matt's visions.
Yeah. They've been going heavy on the Matt foreshadowing this season. With the eye, with the hanging, there's been quite a lot of work put into who Matt will eventually become and things that will happen later. But
so regarding those vision, so much foreshadowing within this vision. Do you guys see any other foreshadowings at the hanging, or like did I miss something, or was that just the hanging?
It was mostly just the hanging. I am curious as to the what the like drowning bit was. But yeah.
Yeah, I loved that scene. I liked the foreshadowing to Ruidian. Sorry, I have a hard time pronouncing that. And it's I don't know, it makes me like more excited for Matt and his story, and it also like gives me something to like with people who have read the books that are complaining that Matt isn't doing anything. I'm like, did you not see the foreshadowing? Like, did you not see where they're going with this character? Because like he is about to go through it, and I'm here for it. But I love the foreshadowing most. I mean, there's a little bit of foreshadowing with other characters that we could talk about, but with Matt, I loved it. And I thought it was cool.
I'm good with not getting the portal stones as well. Like, I don't think I'm fine with that.
I'm actually happy with that.
Yeah, like this scene obviously replaced the flicker, flicker, flicker stuff, and I think it accomplished what flicker, flicker does for Matt without the use of portal stones. We don't need it.
We didn't need flicker, flicker, to be honest.
It was cute in the books. It would not work in visual media, and it would just be too confusing.
And too costly.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I do. Sorry, do we have anything else on Matt?
No,
I don't think so.
I did not. Lan said something. Ishamael didn't steal you. Not even a Forsaken could do that alone. And I was like, where the fuck are you getting this information? Because one person can absolutely steal someone else.
Maybe it's a lore change.
In the book, it's like an accident.
It's
It happens with Ren in the box, for example.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Egwene in the Dragon Reborn, I think.
Okay.
But I'm curious whether like maybe the show is just getting rid of that.
Yeah, maybe.
So that there's no other way to steal someone than having like 8 people.
A circle, yeah.
Yeah, which I'm fine with. I don't mind it, really. It's
gotta simplify some things for the show.
It does.
Yeah, and maybe Lan is wrong.
And also maybe Lan is wrong.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe he was right to dart it here, but would be wrong to dart it in another situation.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
I do, speaking of Ishamael, I love how they blended Ishamael with Moradin.
Mhm.
Because I feel like they have really done that well. Because in the books, Moradin is very much like, you know, Nietzsche, like, what's the fucking point?
Mhm.
Like, blah, 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 blah. And they gave that to Ishamael.
Yeah.
Like, Ishamael just wants to not wake up.
Yeah.
And it was great. I think it's been great writing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope I'm glad they did away with the rebirth stuff.
Oh my God, thank God. It's just, we can't. I mean, they can't afford it either. And I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
So, win-win.
Yeah.
I am curious about Lanfear's line. Lucky for you, a broken Amerlin is more useful to me than a dead one.
Uh-huh.
And it makes me wonder how involved Lanfear is going to be in the coup.
I mean, so
Yeah.
in that specific instance, it feels like Swan is weak, and a weaker meaning is is weak as an Amerlin. She doesn't have the support of the wall tower, and that's fine with her. I'm actually curious whether it's going to be another 4 seconds that's going to mess up the tower, because maybe Swan having Swan at the top of the tower was good enough for Lanfear, but someone wants to actually break the tower, and that's what's gonna amplify the coup. But whatever happened in this episode, definitely gonna come back for the coup.
Oh my God.
Oh, for sure. They were setting up a lot,
100%.
Even Moraine's line to Swan is like when she's like, you think you have that much, you know, you still have the whole. I was just like, ooh, this is not gonna be bad.
The exact line is Moraine saying the Reds will gentle him. Swan responds, not while I hold the seat. And Moraine is like, the tower is filled with your enemies. You're this sure of your power?
Yeah. Oh boy. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Swan is losing her grip.
Oh yes.
And she don't even know it.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think
I mean, Swan knows it, but
she doesn't want to admit it. I think she's doing a similar thing that Moraine was doing with
I can fix this.
Thinking that she's like, I can fix this. This is fine. I can fix this. I just need to do this and this and this and this.
Yeah.
Everything will be fine. It's okay.
If Moraine just did her fucking job, we'd be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd be fine.
both of them had a job and both of them are failing at it, and none of them want to tell the other about it.
100%. They're both so unbelievably stubborn. They are so stubborn, and they're so duty bound in their own separate different ways. And yeah, they don't want to admit that they've fucked up.
Yeah.
And there will be consequences to this.
Yep. One thing that I had, do we have anything more on the coup?
Not on the coup specifically, but on one of the Aes Sedai. They haven't named Joya yet, but she's been in the background a lot.
Yeah, she has.
Yes, she has.
So I'm curious as to what she's going to be doing.
Uh-huh.
Because she Black Aja. Well, she Purple Aja in the show. But she's wearing purple. That is not... That is a slightly gray purple. That is not a purplish gray. That is a slightly gray purple.
Slightly gray. Okay.
She said, this is the one dress I own.
Yes, and by God, I will be wearing it as often as possible.
I don't have Liane's budget for clothes, okay? I can't afford Versace.
Oh my God. I did very much appreciate Varen playing playing an Aes Sedai who is still bound by the oaths while not being bound by the oaths.
Yeah.
And so giving the illusion that she is playing choosing her words carefully, when in reality she can say
whatever the fuck she wants.
Whatever kind of she wants. But she is sticking to her role that she is, it's so good. I'm so happy with Varen.
Yeah.
I just love the way that she's being characterized and all of the little hints that they're dropping. And people rightfully being unsure if they can trust her, because the answer is both yes and no. That's it.
Yeah. Things that I had to Rena saying the demon is light. Important.
Yeah.
Coming back next episode. And then I have a few longer things. I'm curious what Anvir's role is going to be for the rest of the show. I could feel her being is that what's her name? Is that
Colvir?
Colvir, yeah.
Colvir, yeah.
Like the Dae'Mar cousin who planned behind Rand's back, and Rand decided to strip her of her title and and then she hang herself. And I would feel like it'd be very interesting for Rand to be responsible for Moiraine's sister's death.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Boy.
Colvir was queen for 9 days.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like Lady Jane Grey.
Yeah.
Oh.
Rip.
Oops.
Matt, you had something I saw? Yeah.
Yes, I do. I definitely agree that I think this episode is going to definitely play into the cold open, but we've talked about that, and we've talked about Ruby. Okay, so my last thing that I really enjoyed was the Moiraine and Lanfear traveling together. Like, I saw some complaints about that, and going back to the idea of, like, some people just have bad takes. Someone suggested that the whole Arches thing wouldn't happen, or would, like, that there would be no more Lanfear Moiraine fights because that already happened in this episode, and apparently you can't have 2 fights between the same character in a TV season.
You can't fight someone twice.
I know. It's like, so now obviously
it's impossible.
But that dumb take aside, I think that them traveling together and having to cooperate in this episode was really great for the future, because it sets up their dynamic even more, because like Lanfear just sort of hates anyone who is around Rand. But this actually gives some weight to their dynamic, and it's going to be so juicy when the docks scene goes down in whatever form it takes.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
they set up everything for a good yeeting at the end of it.
A good yeeting.
A good yeeting by all.
One last thing that I had is that I saw a lot of people comparing Swan and Aleida, and I wanted to slap all of them, because it's like, oh, she's threatening to put Bran in the box. No, that's not going to be the same thing. She's not going to be doing what Aleida is doing with Joy. Oh, she's using a nose again, Moiraine. Well, Aleida, like, you see the pain in Swans when she does that. Like, she immediately hates herself for doing that. She still thinks she has to do it because she's Yamerlin and that boy should not escape. But she hates herself for that.
So much.
And Aleida would be thrilled to have a nose that she can just command people around.
Overjoyed.
You know what would be so chaotic is if we tweeted, oh my god, what if they combine Aleida and Swan together?
Don't
because there were literally people being like that, and
because people
were fucking dumb.
This fandom and jumping to conclusions that are not based in any sort of rational thoughts.
I can't.
Not in this economy.
And I saw like some people were like, oh, Swan in the book cares a lot about the oaths. No, she doesn't at the stage of the books. Like, after the coup, she's like lying all she wants because she doesn't have any oaths anymore.
She's having a time.
She's living her best life. She's like, yeah, you know what? I hate you. That was fun to say.
And it's really once, like, she has to mentor Egwene, and they have a discussion about the oaths I think she has a very interesting discussion about the oaths and how important they actually are for the Aes Sedai. But that comes like way later in the book. She has a bunch of character development before that.
Yeah.
And so people pissed me off so fucking much.
Yeah. I think
I needed to be off Twitter that days.
I know. I think people are and like initially I was struggling a bit with that, with how she was characterized in the episode as well. Until I went back and read some of like some stuff from early Swan, from pre-Stilling, and like this is kind of her though. Like, she is very much like she will absolutely do what she needs to do, and so make some, like, somewhat questionable but understandable decisions because she has to. This is Swan.
Swan is ruthless. Like,
yes,
even later, she offered Egwene to kill a novice because she's basically blackmailing her.
Yeah, I mean, like, y'all don't, like, Swan just didn't get as much screen time as Moiraine did.
That's what it is.
We talk about how badass and savage Moiraine is, but the second Swan does it, you're like, who is this bitch? She's always been this bitch. You just haven't seen her.
Exactly. And she is a force. There's a reason that she is Amyrlin's seat. She is a force to be reckoned with, and she will do what she needs to do. This is her, and so I think it works really. What
did you just read?
Say it.
Sophie Okonedo singing "This Is Me" from The Greatest Showman.
I hate you so much.
Musical Wheel of Time episode. What? 'Cause here I come. I'm marching out to the beat of my drum.
Yeah, perfect.
The only thing I had after was I laughed at Tomas saying "Light be with you."
Uh-huh.
I laughed at it. I lolled.
Just a little chuckle.
Do we have anything else for this episode? Are we excited for next episode?
I don't think so.
You don't think we're excited for the next episode? I don't either.
I don't think so either.
I meant to say I don't think I have anything else, but technically also we're not excited for the next episode because we saw it already at the time of recording.
We're just pulling back the curtain, are we? We're just revealing that? We're just putting that out there?
I mean, I've already told people that we have...
Okay.
No, but life got busy for several of us. It's fine.
Right.
People will get their episode when they will get this episode.
They can cope. They can deal.
Yeah.
I'm excited to eventually rewatch episode 8 in a few months or several months or a year. But
I'm doing a rewatch starting tonight of the entire season.
I'm so jealous. I can't.
I'm excited.
I can't do rewatches.
I'm excited.
I'll do a rewatch of episode 8 before we record for episode 8. But I've only watched it once so far.
Me too.
Yeah.
Because I watched it, then I went to sleep for 3 hours, and then I went to take a plane, like a flight.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was busy.
Just a bit.
Anyway, thank you for listening to this episode of The Queers of Time. We hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.
Oh.
No,
okay.
I'm sorry.
You can find us on Twitter, Blue Sky, Tumblr, TikTok, Instagram. We never post on TikTok, Instagram, but technically we're there. You can join our Discord, and it's always nice chatting with all the gay folks about the Wheel of Time.
Join our Discord. It's really fun.
It's fun. One day we need to make it a bit more show friendly.
One day.
And if you want to support us, we have a Patreon.
Yes.
You can get episode a few days in advance. That's the main benefits of the Patreon. We have a few other things that we are a bit less regular about, but that thing, you always get the episode a few days early.
Yes.
And thank you, everyone, and bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you all for listening. This was Queers of Time, a Wheel of Time podcast. The music is Dance of the Witches by Julius H.